the idea. So what I understand so far is, so Docker is not like enterprise level, and Kubernetes is like a Google tool that was developed internally that does the orchestration. So, and has so many ways of configuration and so many other, lots of concepts, lots of things that it does. But basically the idea is operating system, how operating system does resource management. So they kind of like engineered it that way so that it orchestrates, so that it does those things like load balancing, auto scaling, auto healing, and containerization, things like that, right? So that's how I understand the basic concept of the Kubernetes, which is a very important tool.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, what additional materials are you reading on top of this? Because you seem to be using the appropriate words and terminologies. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, I'm trying to get like usually when I'm learning, I'm trying to get like the bird's eye view of how everything fits, where it fits, why it's being used, the reason why they created it, and what's the real problem that it tries to solve. So based on my experience and my knowledge and things, I just read general materials and it kind of clicks because the same node, server master and node architecture is the same graph algorithms that we use.
Okay.
So, and then the same, the striking thing is the similarities between Kubernetes and operating system. So like how operating system does resource allocation. That's like the core functionalities, because everything, the operating system is done automatically. It knows how to schedule resources and processes and knows how to manage all those memories. So like Kubernetes knows how to spin up containers based on the configuration on the YAML file, so that it can do that auto balancing and auto scaling when resources are needed. So that's like the main point, so that I just get it. So now I don't have to go and practice and know how to do everything.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. I mean, using those keywords really factorizes the long talk.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting this class is very, very like there's so much value. So I'm getting the value from it very well.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Awesome. I'm sure just like I'm impressed, your interviewers will also be impressed, like wow, wow, wow. And usually when they are impressed at that level, then the need for practical demo reduces, because it just shows that the way you have explained it, if you haven't used it and you are not so familiar, then you will not be able to explain it. Right? Therefore, you know.
Oh yeah, that's great then. That's great in that case.
I have another training like that from another class, DevOps2 too. They just finished the class just before you. It's a Ghanaian.
Okay.
He had a networking background from Ghana. And then when he came here, he was doing nothing before he now converted back to IT. And he's so organized, he does things so well. How come you know these things so? He's just applying the principles that he already knew in about how things work, and everything just making so much sense.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Good evening, people.
Victor,
yes, sir.
Welcome to class.
Welcome. Hey, Chidi, how you doing?
Hey, hi, Victor. How's it going?
All right. Yes, we're just sharing how, I was just asking Chidi whether he's been practicing. We were just sharing how he has understood everything so far, and that makes sense. What about you? Have you
Yeah,
practicing or just trying to
I'm
assimilate?
still. No, I was in class. I've been in class, but when you joined, it booted me out, so I had to X out and reconnect. That's why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
you. I was trying to. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so for some reason it wasn't linking, and I noticed this. I just said, you know what, I don't want to stay here, and it's just there trying to link. Let me just X out and reconnect. Yeah, but like as I was saying, I've been stuck on that. I've been stuck on connecting, uh, deploying my image from that practice. I cleared
You said
my
that you
process.
post something? Oh, you
Yeah,
posted something?
remember I posted something last week about trying to use my my Docker server to process the image from my Jenkins, and for some reason the image won't come up. Then we were changing. You said that you told me to change the name. I changed the name several times. You told me to. It didn't work. You told me to clear the process of the image. I did that. It didn't work. But
I said it didn't work.
no.
Did you use the updated updated guide?
Yeah, it's the same
The one
thing.
from yesterday.
It is the same thing. It's just for some reason it won't. That image, I don't know why that image is not coming up.
Okay.
Okay. That
But I
is
have
a
set it
specific
up.
image.
Yeah, that specific image.
Okay. Did you try any other image so that we know where the problem is coming from?
I don't have. I thought
Like
about
engineer, for example. Just a
oh,
simple image. Let's try. Let's try. That's from DevOps1, right? Not from DevOps2.
yes, DevOps1, the end, the second to last class of DevOps1, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Why not? DevOps. Let me see that. Okay. Okay. I see your
I've already
screenshot.
set it up. I can just share it and you can look at it real quick and
Okay. So let's see. Let's see.
okay.
Let me allow you to share.
Okay.
Okay, you can share.
This is right. This is my
No, we're not seeing it yet.
Terraform. So this is my Jenkins where the problem really is.
Okay.
And this is my Docker, my Docker.
No need to show me. Just so just go ahead. What do you want to do now? You want to deploy your artifact from Jenkins to where? To Docker?
I want yes. Yes.
Okay, so go ahead. Let's do it. Just go ahead. Yeah, what command do you need to do that? Okay, you're trying to open the notes.
Yeah, this is the notes. Yes.
Okay, I remember now. So go to Docker server. That one is okay. Okay, ls minus l. Let's see what you have. You have webapp.org, you have Docker. Yes. Okay. Docker, you have Docker installed here. Docker ---- version.
Yeah.
All right. So Docker images. -A. No image. Okay. So Docker process -A. Docker process is -A. Docker PS. No processes. All right. Docker container, of course, there will be no container. Docker container ls -.
Understand?
Yeah, ls first. Docker container ls. Space -A. Repeat the command. Up arrow key. Space -A.
ls minus, you said?
Space, put space.
Oh.
Then -A.
-A, okay.
Yeah. All right. So clear the screen and increase this space for terminal so that we can run.
Okay.
All right, so you don't have any image. Do you want
No.
to create an image now that you have Docker file and what's the command to create image from Docker file?
That's the one I just copied.
Docker file and then ls-l shows that you have the two files that you need to create an image. So what's the command? Do ls-l again so that we see. All right, so you have these two files. What's the command that will create an image from this?
You know, sudo docker image point period.
Look for the command and copy it.
Okay.
So if you get that command right, it should work.
I have it. That's it, right?
Look, so okay, hold on. So sudo docker build -t app image. Yes. So sudo docker build -t tag image for current directory. Yeah. Press enter now. All right. So you have your image now. So Docker images. So first you have Tomcat, which was the foundational, the background you need for your web application. And now on top of Tomcat, you have built your image, app image. Okay, fine. So now run this app image as a process, because right now it's just an image. So put it in a container and run it as a process so that you have an application. What's the command?
I guess sudo docker run d name.
So sudo docker run, that's the command. So look for it and copy.
Okay, so this is where.
So sudo, no, hold on. So sudo docker run, name, our app container d, y background, -p 8080. Are you sure it's port 8080? Let's see your docker and see what port you assigned in your docker. Clean this, clear this command and clear this screen. Cut your Docker file, let's see. Capital D for Docker, then tab.
What's
Docker file, Docker file.
Docker file.
No. No app there. Cut your Docker file. You know how to cut a file?
Yeah. Docker, okay.
Okay, do ls-l so that you see what you are doing.
So, yeah. Is it not? It wasn't not this. Let me try this. No.
You are guessing. You are not following.
Yeah.
ls-l.
Okay.
Right. Tab will complete it. Tab.
You said app will complete.
Press tab. Press tab.
Oh, okay. Tab.
No, just press tab. Yeah. Press enter.
Okay.
What do you have here? You have. So how do you know it's port 8080? Why are you saying port 8080?
I was following the notes. So
okay,
that's why
you're just following the note. Okay, run that Docker command again. And why are you putting -D? The real command in the note, does it have -D? I know what -D means, but
yeah, it was a copy and paste.
Okay, if it's copy and paste,
Yeah.
then use it like
Yeah.
that. All right, so what we are going to do now is remove this -P8080 because I don't remember where we got the 8080 from. Remove that part.
Oh, letter P.
Then just put capital letter P. That's all. Okay. Then go on and put the image name.
And enter, right?
Oh, no. Return to the original command.
What do you mean the original?
Okay, clear everything. Clear this command. Return that command again that you keep.
I had, okay.
This is it. So don't delete the app image. Just move the arrow cursor back and remove the 8080. Just remove the 8080. That's all.
Oh, I see what you said.
Change the small letter to big letter. P. Okay. Remove the P. No, yeah, remove the P. All right. Just this page there?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So run this in this. Press enter. Let's see. Wait, run. So Docker process. Docker PS.
Oh, sure.
Your image is running. So why was it not running before?
I think it makes sense. Oh, let me see.
And even the other one could have run. So it's the same thing. So browse your image now. Now that your image is open. Browse it through port 32768. The IP address, then 32768. You see the port number on your -P?
Port number.
Yes.
Yeah, 32.
Yes. So that's where that's the door to your application. So go to a browser and browse through that port.
Oh, this didn't always have problem. Okay.
Okay, so the 8080 confirmed that you are right. So it was 8080. It's just that I don't remember how it was. Voice. Okay, that's the default port for Tomcat. Sorry, it's default. We didn't have to assign it.
Okay, now.
So remember the IP address? No, hold on. Let's browse our application. Do you remember the IP address of your Docker server? Go to your browser.
Let me see. For my Docker server.
You should have written it somewhere in your notepad.
Yeah.
Not there. Or if you don't have it, go to your.
I have it.
Okay. Just put 32768 in front and then go to your browser. If you don't mind sharing your browser, let's see what you have.
Yeah. Say 32, 732, 761. Wait. 32, 768. 768. There it is. Okay.
All right.
You see
let's see. No, you're not sharing your browser.
Let me share it. Let me see it. Okay, I'm going to share.
All right, okay, so your Tomcat is working. So to see your application, what's the name of your application? Is it web app? So put /web app in front. In front of the URL. In front of that URL?
Oh, URL, okay.
Yeah, put /web app. 44.211.166.107:327768. Can you see all of that?
Only for this to come out. So it's slash web app.
Web app. That's not the spelling of web app.
Something. Oh, I have double B. Double B. I'm going to see it. Okay, that's fine. We go.
Yeah. The application is working. Why did it say it's not working? You successfully containerized you converted your artifact to image, and then you containerized your image and then run it in a container using Docker. So it is an application I run it. That's why you can browse.
It was the format I used in putting it that capital P. I think I didn't put after that capital P. I didn't put that web, like how you said, put web app. Don't cancel that web app. I did when you were giving me solutions. I didn't put that web app in it. So
and you always have to say the image that you want to.
Okay.
That you want to pull and deploy in the container. So if you don't mention the image, in this case, the image is that app image. If you don't mention the image, then you can have nothing to
deploy.
Well, you get it now, right?
Yes, I've seen. Okay. At least I've gotten it, and I know where my mistake was.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right. So let's take over this thing now. All right. So what we are doing now, we are just creating our Kubernetes cluster so that we can start practicing. So we are working with AKS-CTR. So this is the command that we have used at least 2 times before to set up our managed Kubernetes cluster in AWS. Managed Kubernetes cluster in AWS is called EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Cluster. And then this is the command. All right, so enter that command alongside the attributes that we want in the Kubernetes cluster we want to create. So I copy that and I paste here, and this one. So it's creating now. We know that this one takes several minutes, like 15 to 20 minutes. So right now it's created. You can still see that I just copied that. I can still see the command. I started this only about 5 minutes. All right, so that's going to take like 15 minutes. While that one is taking place, any other concept you need us to explain before that one is ready? So last time we deployed a sample 3-tier application. We are going to continue from there. So once our Kubernetes cluster is ready, we are going to continue on where we start. We'll deploy these 3-tier applications. This time, instead of having them separately as separate files, 5 different files, we are going to put all of the files together in a single file, and we'll run everything as one. It's the same thing. All right. So what I will create, I hope I'm not just speaking grammar. What I will create this one.
I'm with you.
Okay. So what I will create this one as its own file, create this one as its own separate file, so that we'll have 2 unique files, or we take the both of them or all of them and put them in a single file and run the single file at once is the same. All right, we'll just do that, and then alternatively we can run everything. And then after that, we'll go into, I'll show you how to set up Docker on your command line interface. Can you type Docker on your WSL right now? Docker ---- version. Please type and show me, or tell me what you see. On your WSL.
Okay.
Docker ---- version. What does it say?
It's not, it's still processing.
Mm.
System. It says,
yes.
It says I have to, it says command Docker not found, but can be installed with app install Docker.io, and it gives me the version of the Ubuntu, and it does the same thing. It says app install podman Docker.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to hear the part command not found. So it means that Docker is not currently installed on your WSL.
Yeah. Okay.
Docker is not installed. So let us that the rating. This one that I want to do is not really. So let's install Docker on your WSL. So let's go ahead. So I'm going to come here to this part of the notes. In case you do not already have Docker installed, which is in your own case, in your VS Code, this is how to do it. And then I have reference to the YouTube channel. Just it's about 10 seconds long. I mean, very short, 1 minute long. All right. So have you already created your account in Docker Hub? You have an account there?
I believe yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're just going to say install Docker for desktop Windows. Let's go to Google, Control C, and then we'll go to Google, and then we look for that, Control V. All right. So install Docker desktop on Windows. So we'll click this. Do you see this sign now?
Yeah.
Docker desktop for Windows. So we'll click it. That's what we'll have in your note here. So we'll click that. If anybody is using Mac, they will use this URL instead. But since you are using Windows, so I need you to go here and click this. So that you download it. Down. Sorry?
You want me to do it now or later?
Well, whichever you choose. Either
I'll
now
do
or
it
later.
Later.
Okay. That's fine. So that would download your Docker. If I go to my download folder now and I click download, I see that my Docker desktop has been downloaded. So the next thing I want to do is install it. So I double click to install my Docker desktop. So double click and then let's run through the default settings. Next. That should do it. Did I double click? Or is it running in the background? Here was running. Did I say yes there?
It's processing. Okay.
This one says I already have the version. Okay, this is a later version. Do you want to replace your current version? Let me go ahead and say yes so that you just see how it works. So this is how to install Docker desktop. Desktop because it's going to run on your own laptop and your laptop uses Windows. The laptop runs Windows OS. Right, so this is what we'll try to explain in the next. So once we complete that setup, we'll do the next thing. On Windows features on or off. So let's patiently wait for this. For my Kubernetes installation, that one is still going.
Takes a while.
Yes.
Did you just start a cybersecurity class, Mr. Akin?
I started one at the beginning of the month.
Oh, okay.
Like 2 weeks ago, yeah.
So you're about 4 weeks into the class, 4 classes into.
Yes, we've done like 4 classes. Someone interested in cybersecurity?
I think I would need to take it. I think I would need to take it.
Oh, okay.
Because my resume reflects that I'm getting calls, even though they say DevOps, but I think I need to take it. Even though I have cybersecurity and understand the cybersecurity, yours is more technical. I just know the NIST framework and how to apply the NIST framework. That's more about it, and the controls and everything, and categorizing implementation and going through the NIST process of implementing controls, but I don't know the technical parts.
Okay.
So that's why I asked about it. I need to take it.
Next class will be March 2nd.
Okay. So,
It's taking a while, right? Patient who was for that. So we need to use Docker here for some of our jobs. So that's how we're installing Docker. We need Docker in this location. I don't have these machines anymore. I'm not going to. Here. All right, so installation succeeded. All right, so let's close that. What was the next thing to do? The installation has succeeded. So we're going to go to the search bar and we're going to search for this, Control C. And then this is the search bar, we'll put that there. And then it brings that. So go in there. Why are we here? What are we here to do? We want to turn on Windows Hypervisor Platform and Windows Subsystem for Linux. So look at it. Windows, so W for Windows. So Windows Machine Platform, Windows Hypervisor Platform, that is one. Then Windows
Subsystem from Linux.
Yes. So where's the other one?
Right there, right there. On that, go down. 3, 4, right there.
Oh, okay, yes. So Windows Subsystem. So make sure these two are checked, like they are checked. All right. So, yeah. All right. So once, so make sure you check those boxes. To start Docker, search for what we just installed and then run it. What did we just install? We just installed Docker Desktop. So let's look for Docker Desktop. Docker Desktop. That's it, right? So we'll click that application and then we'll run it. So right now, okay, so I have my cursor back.
Yes,
so if I do Docker ---- version, it says, even though I have just installed the Docker Desktop, it said, oh, my Docker is not. Oh. All right, so it said Docker could not be found. All right, So the reason is because I'm not running it. So let's run that Docker now. So that next time I come here, it is fine. All right, so I come here. So I double click that. Now it's starting the Docker engine on my WSL. We've done this on Ubuntu before, but because we are doing it on Windows now, WSL is Windows, by the way. It's Windows. All right. So it's running now. My Windows desktop is running now with all of this. So what do I do? How do I configure now that I'm here? I'm going to go to, this is just a sample program to test, to note. First of all, before we even run any program, I claim that it's running now. Let's see. Is it really running? Yes. Do you recognize that it's running? Yes, you can see. Okay. It's now giving me Docker is running. Okay. So
for it to run, we have to make sure the application is running on your system first.
Which
Docker,
application? Yes,
the
Docker desktop.
Desktop, yeah.
Yes. So every time we want Docker to run, we must double click that application, Docker desktop, like we did. And then we'll have this. This will always run in the background. All right. So the next we want to go, let's go to resources, WSL integration, and then turn on. So we'll go first to settings. So let's go. We'll come here. Where is settings? The screen has changed slightly from that.
Yeah,
so this is settings. So settings, and then we'll go to resources, and then we'll go to WSL integration, integrate into our WSL. For my Ubuntu 22.04, I already have it. Which one? I have two Ubuntu. Oh, this 20.04. Let me just put it on only one. I don't want to use that one. So enable integration with the default WSL. So every time I'm using 22.04 version, like I'm using right now, sometimes that thing just disappears. I still don't have explanation as to why it disappears.
Maybe if you reduce bring down your screen, it will. Like the top, like it says it's coming here. Bring it down. Yeah, sometimes it will just
hide.
Because for it.
Okay, so what I'll normally do is start a new screen. Yeah, let's do it. No, just like this one. WSL. And then the WSL Ubuntu 22.04. So, not sure. Yeah, I'll find solution for this. Might should just disappear. Okay, I'll just manage with that.
We understand what you're in the 22.04 version.
Okay, so maybe something they change. Maybe I need to do a new WSL. All right, so but I'm using 22.0. So is my Docker still there? I hope so. Minus version. Yes, Docker is still there. All right, so we'll come here and then we'll complete the configuration like we did. So that way the integration is now complete. All right, so we apply and then we'll restart. In my own case, I didn't change anything. It was already configured. Let me. Okay, it's right. It was already configured, so there is really nothing new to apply. But if I was changing the configuration, then apply and restart.
Yes.
All right. So we are done. All right. So you may just want to it's not really like compulsory, but install these extensions on your VS Code, Docker and Docker Explorer, so that at least you can monitor what's going on. All right, so let's come back to our VS Code. Make sure this is running in the background, don't close. So come back to our VS Code and look for the extension, Docker. All right, so that's Docker. Is it already installed? It's already installed. That's why it's showing on install.
Mm-hmm.
So this is better, right? Okay, so what about Docker extension? Or was it Explorer? Docker extension? Docker Explorer. I think it's Docker Explorer, yeah. That's twist installed. All right, so those are the things you would need to do on a fresh system. All right, so now that we have it, Docker is ready. Now let's just start to use Docker. The reason we installed Docker, let us start to do it. All right, so our Docker is ready. So let us log into our Docker from our WSL. It will be Docker login. Authenticating with existing credentials. Because this is not my first time, that's why. If we're doing this for the first time, to ask you for your username and password to your Docker account. Then to connect from here with the Docker account. In my own case, I already had my username and password. Now I am connected. Working from here, I am now connected with my Docker account. So from here, I can now push my image to my Docker account. In fact, we're going to push an image. All right. So we just did Docker login. And then let's see this, Control C. This is the Docker configuration. Cut this file called config.json. All right. So this is the configuration form. You don't really need it, but in case. All right. Now we have set up our Docker. That's what we have successfully done. Now we set up our Docker, and we actually connected this Docker account here on our WSL with our GitHub, our
Docker
Hub account, our image repository. All right, so let's start to use it now. Why do I keep coming here? So what's the exercise we need to do? What we want to do is create a deployment that will use your secret to access a Docker credential. So all this while, we have been pulling images from public repository. So for the first time, let us pull an image that is not publicly available. An image that is not publicly available. Okay, this is what I mean. Let us deploy an image. Let's use this one. Deploy YAML, pull image from a private repository. So let's do this. Let's do Control C. All right. I hope we already talked about how we can have this in two separate files or have the two of them combined. So Control C. So in this case, I'll have them in a single file. ls-l. Let me create a directory for this, our work. Let's make directory Kubernetes. Do I have to make directory? Yeah, in the command is correct. Send directory to Kubernetes. ls-l. So let's do our work from here. Okay, that's a minute. So let's create a file and call it
upload X topic.
Huh? Call it what?
No, I was just thinking like
okay.
When you create this file, won't you upload that script that you just copied?
Yes, that's why I'm creating the file so I can upload it to you. So let's call the file deployment dot. It's always YAML. Yeah. Right. So I put the script. Then I see control. That's simpler than VI. So now I have this. Now look at, in fact, this is what I'm doing. Before I use this, let me show you an error first so that you understand what we're trying to do. So that file is good. Let's take another file. Let's take a file we have used before. For example, let's not use this 3 tier. Let's use this simple one. Maybe this. Yeah, we can use this. Let's take this one. Control C. Let's create another deployment file. And then here we'll come and say deployment. I don't have two files with the same name. So let's call this deployment2.yaml. And then put this file here. Right? For this image, we are going to change this image. All right. Let's put a different image to pull there. Let me go to my repository. Docker Hub. So I'll sign into my account. So this is my repository now. I have Akin Aregbesola. So let me go to, this is a public, let me check my repository. Public, private, this private repository. So let me take an image from my private repository. Let me take this image. And then, where's the image? This is it. So I'll take this image, Control C. And I'll use this image. I'll say, my Kubernetes, manifest, go and pull this image and deploy it. Control it. Right? So I just change the image. Notice that this image is in a private repository. Private means I must have credentials to access this, otherwise it's not accessible. All right, so Control S. Now let us run that Kubernetes 2. Deployment 2. All right, so I have a file called deployment 2. So I'm just going to come here and say, Kubernetes, just go ahead, kubectl, then what? kubectl apply the file deployment2.yaml. All right. All right. Oh, created. Okay. So kubectl get deployment. Look at it. It says 0/20. Out of the 20 replicas that I said you should create, where did I say 20? Look at it. 0 has been created. There's an error. There's a problem. Has 0 created? Okay, show me the ports. kubectl get, by troubleshooting now, get ports. Look at all the ports. It's supposed to be 1/1, but 0/1, which means image pull back off. Image pull back off. Okay. So give me more information. kubectl describe ports.
Probably the credential is not allowed to download.
Exactly. That is it. I just wanted to show you so that you see for yourself.
Okay.
And then it says error. And you see? So by itself is confirming what you just said. Warning failed. Error. Error what? Image pull. It's not able to pull the image. So why are you not able to pull image? So fail to pull image, Akin Aregbesola 2024. Fail to pull and unpack image. All right. Akin Aregbesola 2024. To reference Docker, this access denied.
Access denied.
Correct. Repository does not exist, or you may not have authorization.
Authorizations have a message.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is what happens when you are pulling image from a private repository. So what do we need to do now to solve this problem? We need to provide the credential to say this is our username, this is our. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. All right. So now that we have seen the problem, yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Sorry. Question. Yeah. So the private repo, docker.io / Akin Aregbesola then /private:2024. Is the private :2024 what makes it is that just the name?
Yeah, when I created the repository, let's create a new repository. So when I create a repository, let's go here. Create repository. When I create a repository and call it February class, for example, I can decide whether this is for public use or for private use. Appear in Docker Hub set. So if I'm a company, an organization, definitely I'm not preparing this application for public use.
Public, yeah.
My private property. So I come and I click private.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not visible to the world, it's visible only to me. And it's private property. Yeah.
So those last two parts in the URL, private :
yes.
that's what marks it as private.
Yes, this what it's telling you that it's private.
Okay, I see the template at the right. Repo : tag name.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I see. That's the format. Okay. Got it.
All right, so that's fine. Now let's continue with that. So how do we now add username and password? So we are going to come back here, and this is where we now need let's just talk about the ready media. So in anything we do in IT, we never enter username and password directly. We don't hard code it. We never enter it as part of the script. So instead, what we do is we are going to create a secret. So it is this file secret that holds our credentials. How do we create the secret to hold our credentials? This is how to create it in Kubernetes. All right, so we'll come here. Yeah, we're here. To pull a file from private repository, we never hard code it. Instead, we'll create secret. This is how to create secret. So I'm going to use this command. Can you use this command? So I enter this command. I enter my username. I enter the password to my account. And then I enter the email to this is the format, this is the template, it never changes. Just replace this one with your own username, replace this one with your own password, replace this one with the email address of your account. So I take this whole command together as one, Ctrl+C, and then I put it here. You know what? Let me first of all delete whatever application we have running. Keeps it here, get deployment. How do we delete deployment? Keeps it here. Delete. Deployment. What's the name of the deployment you want to do? Or double click it.
This right? You don't know Akin Aregbesola at 2020.
No, that was the image inside the deployment. So this one is the deployment. So the deployment is deleted now. It's not running anymore. So if we now say kubectl get deployment, it's deployment not found. All right. So I put that. I copied something. The command that I copied earlier. Control C. I put it in here. All right. This command will now take my username, my password that we said is forbidden to be seen by the public. It will take it and it will encrypt it and give us something different. All right. So it has created a new file for us. You know the name of the file? The file is called secret. That's the general name. And the name of this secret file is my credentials, my cred. All right. So let's get it. We have created my cred. How do we see it? This is the command. kubectl get the secret file called my cred and give it to me in YAML format. So Control C. I haven't taken all of these credentials in plain format and converted it, encrypted it to something that even if the world sees, it does not make any sense to them, and therefore it is safe. Show it to me now in YAML format. All right. So this is the YAML format. So do you see my username here, my password here? No, it's not there. All right. So this is an interview question. How in Kubernetes, or generally actually, do you hard code your credentials? No. You save them separately in some secret, it's generally called secret file, and then you can reference the secret from your manifest. All right, all of that is English. We'll see how it is done. But the thing you are taking away from here is that this resultant file that this one was converted to, it does not show my secret, my password plainly. All right, so let's not use this one. We cannot, it's YAML now. Let's just copy it and use it to create our secret if we want. We'll copy this one, Control C. Now let us create a file. How do we do that? I'll come here. Okay. Create new file. Call it secret. Secret dot. Yeah. YAML. And then put the YAML file. So you see that we didn't have to create the YAML file. The system gave it to us by itself. From here, we said, give us the YAML file from what you did, and then give it to us. We just copy them. All right, so we have the YAML file. Beautiful. Now we have our secret file. Another common interview question at the level of secret. There are different models, different models, I think that's the best word, for converting plain text to secret, to encryption. The model used here, that Kubernetes uses, is called base64. All right? So the conversion of this plain text to this secret, as you are seeing it here now, see the whole of this thing, was done using, or is done generally using base64 encryption. Right? Okay, so now, how do we now refer to this secret in the body of the text? I haven't created secret because we now say kubectl get secret. It tells us that there is a file called secret and the name of the file is my cred. How do we refer to it? This is how to refer to it. So we go back to that deployment.yaml, and then in the body of the deployment.yaml, we now have this part that was not in the other part. This part is what is missing here. This template and that template, they are the same, except that in this one, we are now saying to pull image, use secret. And the name of my secret is my cred. This is just the addition. If we can just copy this out, come here and look for the right place to put it in without missing the indentation, then we are good. In any case, I already have it. All right. So we're not referring to go and pick this image, but we know that that image is in a private repository. So it's going to have problem like we had here, earlier on. So we'll now say, use this password, username and password. And then I say, okay, where's the username and password? Go and look for a file called secret. Go and look for a secret file called mycred. And you'll find the username and password. See if they encrypted there using this. Use it. All right. And then this other part that says image pool policy. Even if there is already an image locally, always pull a new one to build this application. Always. All right, guys. So that's it. You make those 3 references as shown here in the notes. Can you see the note now? So the note is highlighting that this is the new addition we are making here, 1, and then we are changing the image to image in private repository, and then we are saying always pull. Those highlighted 4 lines are the differences between the regular pull image from public that we have been doing and this pull image from private. Yes. All right. Have we talked about load balancer before?
No, not in this course.
Okay, so let's talk about it. But before then, do you understand the insertion of this? Yeah, it's a very important interview question. That's how we're dwelling on.
Question.
Yeah.
So I know this this part, I think it seems like we are trying to show how we are pulling images from private repository, since in the workplace we are not going to be dealing with GitHub, or we may not be dealing with GitHub if we are doing the enterprise Kubernetes.
You mean we may not be dealing with Docker Hub?
Yeah, Docker Hub public.
Yes, Docker Hub public.
So this one is supposed to be part of the Kubernetes, right?
Yeah, this is Kubernetes manifest.
Okay.
And then of all of the objects we have deployed, we have discussed deployment, service, ports. Another object in Kubernetes that we are discussing now is the object called secret.
Okay,
so
okay.
This is how to create the object called secret and how to use it with your deployment.
Okay, okay. But in this case, you're just showing us using Docker.
Yes,
how
using Docker Hub.
Docker Hub, okay.
Yeah.
But maybe I might be mixing things up, or maybe I'm not getting it correctly. In the Kubernetes, is it the nodes that will be doing this? And where is it going to be pulling the image and using this secret for? You get my question?
No, not yet. So in Kubernetes, is it the node that will be? No, Kubernetes as a cluster, they all work together. So it will be pulling the secret from our objects. We created the secret, so it will be pulling it from here.
Okay, so Docker is still involved now.
Yeah, Docker is always involved, like you said at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
That Kubernetes manages containers, so there are always containers to manage.
That's all it does.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So as for the secret, we created it. So look at it here. kubectl get secret. It exists. This is where it will.
Okay. Got it.
Even if we do ls -10, you can see secret.yml.
Okay, got it.
All right. Okay, so now when maybe just run it and troubleshoot in case it doesn't work before we come back and explain load balance. So let's just run that. We have our deployment. I think we have to deploy. Let's not confuse it. We are using this deployment 1. This is the one that has the full security there. So let us deploy deployment 1. kubectl get deployment. Create, apply, deployment. All right. So that's it. And then created. Last time it said 0/20. So this time let's see what is created. Since it has the kubectl get deploy. This 1/1, but we are creating only one. Okay, let's increase it to 20. That will not say because right. So we apply the new file kubectl apply. So that is configured. So kubectl get the new deployment 20/20. All right. So we did provide the secret now, so it was able to. If we now say kubectl get ports. Get ports. All right. So all ports are right.
20.
Delete. Yes. All right. So that worked. Now, let's say to access our application, the only way to access our application, even though everything is running now, is through service. So let's say kubectl get service now. Kubectl get service. We see that our service, instead of giving us just a port number, it's actually giving us a long URL. So it is this URL that is called load balancer. All right. So if we take this long URL now, you are coming from okay. So Kubernetes by itself has created this concept of load balancing in the background and has given you the URL. So instead of using port number and IP addresses to browse our application, we can just take this URL right away, and then we should be able to just browse our application. Provided our ports are open. Okay, our ports are open. Oh, they are open. So welcome to the DevOps. So application is running. So the difference between load balancer now and what we'll be doing is what was Victor did earlier on. He had to copy the IP address and the port number. But now there are no IP addresses, no port number, just a URL. So the three different ways that service can provide us with info to access our application are: one way is by cluster ID. The other way is by node, the cluster port, node port, and then the third way is by load balancer. Load balancer. All right. So this cluster port is only for port-to-port communication, port-to-port. Node port, we can, like the 32672, so earlier on, we can put that in front of our node, which is our IP address, and then be able to access it. But this one, for the first time you are seeing it like this, it will create a new URL and give us the URL, and we'll be able to browse the URL. So we are not able to see, as users and operators, we are not able to see the application using cluster. It's actually called cluster ID. Using cluster ID, we must convert to. So that is what we try to explain in this guide. Bear with me, let me take it back a little. So, cluster IP, sorry, not ID. So cluster IP for port-to-port communication, not within the cluster. And then node port, we'll be using that, we'll use that many times. And then now, load balancer, all right? So these are the three ways that we can use the service.
Can I interview question too?
Yeah, it could be. So by default, your service will present you with with cluster IP. But cluster IP is useless. I mean, useless as far as the user is trying to view the application. So what you will normally do is you always replace type cluster IP with either node port or what? Load balancer.
Load balancing.
So this is type node port, control B. Let's look for another type under service. Do we have service here? As far as we are browsing the service, let's look at the very first service. Preparing stuff there. Preparing. We should have a service here. All right, so this kind of service port here, are we able to browse this application or not with node port? This application will have it. Are we able to browse? Yes, we're able to browse because node port allow user to browse. But if it was cluster IP, then we are not able to browse. All right, so service front end application, deployment. Where's service? Oh yeah, we saw this one earlier on. And then what's the service for them? Huh?
Just part deployment.
This is deployment for back end. So for back end, we are not connecting with back.
Question. Quick question.
Service for back. Oh yeah. Go
on. The node port is what makes it the load balancer able to share the services. Is it the that kind, or is it the port that allows them to be able to
for load balancer?
Yeah.
Okay. So
is it that name or?
No, it does a lot of work in the background. Let me show you what it does in the background. AWS. You did AWS with us, right? So you remember how you created a load balancer? How you had a web application?
I didn't take that second class yet. I'm still learning this somewhere, but yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why I asked.
But I did the first one, yeah.
Oh, okay. So here in the background, if you already know how, let's just go to EC2. So an actual load balancer was actually created. If we come here now, we look for a load balancer. What's load balancer? Okay, load balancer.
After networking, yeah.
So it was actually created. So it created this by itself automatically, and it is the URL of this load balancer that was presented to you. So the DNS name. Yeah. And it even went ahead to add it to our Route 53. You should do this course so that everything will.
Okay.
So it did all of this thing that we should know. Yeah.
In the front of this one for the incoming request, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it completed that.
Okay. So pretty much what it's doing is in the back end is creating a special load balancer on the Amazon web service, and then configuring and attaching all the necessary things that's needed.
Exactly. Attaching everything to the Kubernetes
function. Then linking it to the Kubernetes clusters so that they can map and point to the load balancers.
Exactly. And that's why after you do it, you don't browse immediately because it's still busy in the background. It may even take up to 5 minutes before everything will be ready.
Okay. So now in the enterprise, that probably take a while before everything.
Yes.
Before allowed to use, maybe minutes. A day or something. Okay.
No, maybe several minutes. Like, of course, I expect that their resources will be much bigger than what we are using here. So those people will be using like big machines instead of this simple.
Okay.
Yes. So maybe several minutes, maybe 10, 15, anything that's more than 25, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Good.
right? So if we say for enterprise level, we want to say this is our operations, this is our production environment, and therefore we need it to be, we don't want customers to be hanging while they are waiting. So we just come here and take a processor, computing
But
power.
that's the point of the this thing, the Kubernetes now, that is going to distribute the requests. So the downtime is always going to be available, right? High availability. It's going to ensure high availability.
Yes. Yes, like you said earlier on, just like an operating system, it ensures self-healing, high availability, self-restoration, it never dies, and all everything is just perfect.
Once it's live, it has gone live. It's going to always
yeah.
Okay.
And then instead of the small machines we are using here, we can decide that Kubernetes, every time you want to set up your cluster, use this kind of machine. Can you see this one? This one has 32 CPUs.
Wow, 256
compared to
gigabytes.
Yeah.
256 gigabytes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's why that's why AWS is a lucrative. Someone that is paying for that image, company that is paying for that definitely have job. Definitely have requests for job.
And there are even higher and so on and so forth.
Wow,
so ideally, if you were going to set up your own data center, that would take you a whole lot of resources and financial obligations to buy all of this. So why not just get it from
solutions architect, right? That's where you're gonna need.
Yes. The solutions architect will work with the developers, with everybody in the team, just to make sure that the application is deployed at the most optimized cost. It's not just the application is working, no. At one point, while I was still learning all of these things, all these Indian boys, some of them, they are just more secondary school boys that they don't do anything. Their only just is working. I realized in the first app that I had, I was paying $300 for a simple app. In fact, it was a test app. I had not even launched it.
Wow.
So they are it's working. No. It has to be cost of it. And by myself, by the time I learned more, I was able to reduce cost to as low as $39 or $30 or even $28 for that same
application.
Yeah, for that same application. I simply reduce the resources to optimize the cost of what can complement it. And then I can always outscale and upscale once business. That's where auto-scaling comes in. And set the system to auto-scale itself. Every time you need additional resources, build for yourself. And so many other things. Yes. So one of the 5 pillars of your well-architected network is cost optimization. Very important.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have seen how secrets work. All right. And then we have seen that apart from accessing our application through node pod, we can also access through load balancer. And then the configuration of the service part to use load balancer. This is the template. Just copy this and then change the few things that you need to change. It's not always as simple as just replacing the name with load balancer. You also need to see that all of these parts correspond accordingly. So since you have a working template,
these are the defaults,
yes, these are the default settings. All you just need to do is, if for example your port is not 80, it's 8080 or something, then you place it 80. And then the name of your app here. Let's actually take a look and compare. Let's compare. Take a closer look. So this is deployment. It's a YAML file, so it's always started by dash. Hyphen. The deployment part, deployment object, and the name of this app that we are deploying, we have decided to name it My App, right? And then the number of replicas we are running, 20. Minimum ready seconds, 10 minutes. Wait 10 seconds. Wait 10 seconds before going to deploy next pod. So every time you deploy a pod, wait 10 seconds before you deploy the next pod. Then wait 10 seconds before you deploy the next pod. Wait 10 seconds before you deploy the next pod. All right, deploy pods one by one, 10 seconds. All right, so the strategy supports rolling updates. We already know what rolling update is. So you may find another YAML that have been customized, and this strategy may not be part of it. It doesn't mean that you don't work. It just means that that particular manifest may not support rolling update. And then when you are doing rolling update, you are telling this manifest, if I have reason to do rolling update and you are doing rolling update, the maximum number of unavailable ports at a time should be 1. So if you are doing rolling update on 20 ports, you can only take 1 off at a time. Don't go and shut down the whole 20 and leave my customer stranded looking for application. Only shut down 1, replace that 1, and then once that 1 is replaced, then shut down another 1. Replace that 1 with the new update. Then when that 1 is replaced, replace that 1 by 1. If I wanted you to be able to shut down 5 at a time, I'll come here, I'll say 5. Take out 5, update the 5 replicas. Once they are updated and they are now available on the, it's live.
Yeah.
On our production, then take the next 5. And then remove the old, simply replace them with the new application. Maybe this version 2024. Maybe I'm doing upscale to version 2025. So take out 5, replace with 2025. And then once those ones are up, take out another 5, replace at the same time. Exactly. All right, so that's the meaning of those. Okay. All right, maximum surge. This is the maximum number of pods to run for the deployment. Maximum number of pods to run for the deployment. Maximum number of pods. At a time. Okay, it's at a time. Maximum number of pods to run at a single time. All right, so we've told you the maximum number of pods to shut down. So how many can you, I think that one is already taken care of. But it's basically saying, maybe if I had 5 here, then I'll say instead of doing it 1-1, take 5 concurrently. Take 5 pods and work on all 5 concurrently, not 1-1. Because working on that may be too slow or something. But you cannot only determine the number that is unavailable at the time, you can also determine the number that can be taken and worked with at it. So maximum surge, that is the number that can be. All right, selector. The real reason we're here is this selector here. That is where you refer to your application. All right, the name of your application. So for this other file to be tied to this deployment, the name of the application must be the same. What app are we talking about? All of this, what is it tied to? What is it referring to? It's referring to the application, my application. So that's why I said, don't just replace the type, make sure that the other parts are also corresponding to. So the name of the app is the name here. Look at this. You're asking, is Docker still active here? Yeah, Docker is still active. Look at the image. The image that will be pulled. All right, the container name for the image, we'll give it. Right, the container is my app. The image that will be put in the container, just like you know how Docker does, is this. Image policy. Always pull new one, even if I have an old one on my system, because I could have made changes that you are not aware of locally. And then open it to port 80. How do I know that it's port 80 that should be here? Because I open port 80 to access this application. So the door is port 80. So this service must access that application through the door that is open. So 8080, they must correspond, and then actually target port. 8080, they must correspond, and then the name of the application must correspond. So at least you have a deeper insight now into how, even though you did not write the code from the beginning, you just copied it and pasted. Now you have a clearer idea.
Understanding of the code. Yeah, and is it like, I think sometime you mentioned, is a normal, usual practice to make one application per pod, but it's possible to do maybe 2 applications in a pod, but the normal is 1 application per pod. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. You can always create as many pods as you want, unless in really programmers will know more about that, the developers. Unless they really have reason to put 2 applications in 1 pod, it just looks normal to me to have 1 application in 1 pod. Why would you want to put 2 applications? But of course, if they not come with reason as to, this is why we are doing this, of course, I will learn from you. 1 application per pod. So in this case, where we have 20 pods, we have the same application repeated 20 times. It just gives us room for more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So if 1 pod can handle 200 live traffic, and after that, the resources there will not be enough to take more users, then it means that 2 pods will be able to support literally 400. So the more your users, the more the traffic, the cost. So somehow the Kubernetes cluster should know, you should set the auto scaling to something like, once the usage of this resource crosses 75%, then automatically create additional resource and spread the load. All right, so that's how auto scaling is. I'm going to see that in a different manifest later when we do the big project. If you see somewhere in the manifest where it says, once resources have exceeded this number, I think, let's look at another code like we already had. And here we're actually talking about the maximum number of CPUs we are dedicating. Let me see. This replica smart label. This is node selector environment. So this has additional configurations. So this one is saying normally there should be password, but I have deliberately not added password to this so that everybody can have the password. So no problem. Container port 6379. That is the port through which pod can communicate with this container. And what is communicating with this container? This is Microsoft Azure back. Right? So
Yeah,
the service
the application which used 1 time for us.
You said?
I think the application, you use the application, you run this application for us.
Yeah, we've done this, yeah. So I'm just trying to relate it with what you just said. So 6379 is the door to connect with this back end. All right. So let's go and look for the service for back end, and we should see that it is also connecting to 6379. So let's look for the service for back end. This is service, this is back end. Okay, this is also connecting through. Once this number is different, then they are not aligned, then they will not be able to. And of course, the name, like we already said, has to be the same. Azure Vault Backend, Azure Vault Back. Yeah, that's the most we can take. All right, so what's the next thing to do? So we just learn secrets. So now, okay, this is secret. And then so secret.yaml, we should copy it and we have there. And then we completed that. Then we'll validate our YAML. Okay, this is one more experiment. What do we? Yeah, we've done this already. We've copied it. And we pulled the image private 2020. Yeah, we're done with that. When deleting is done, go into cloud and manually delete leftover cloud permissions. Not all the time. Sometimes your cloud permissions, for some reason, may not delete completely. You may want to go and manually delete. Your app not browsing after successful deployment. Yeah, sometimes my load balancer will not just. I've had situations where they will not work smoothly as they work to do. But because I know about load balancing in cloud, I'm able to go in there and look for the load balancer and check. And sometimes I just find that it's not starting. It may not be our fault or anything we are doing wrong, just be the service problem from AWS. So I just manually check one or two things, right? But not all of them. All right, this one we have done. So what is special in this one? To deploy app from private repo to a specific repository. Okay, let's do this one. So earlier on, we deployed an app, but not from a private repo. When we did it, it was from a public repo. But right now, let us deploy this one from a private repo where we have to provide username and password. All right? We'll have to use secrets. So where are we adding the secret to here? Let's see. You know what? Let's take a short break and then we'll come back because I'm introducing again. Let's take a short break, come back, and then we'll look at complete this. The reason we are taking a short break before we come back is because we're introducing new kinds of files that we have not talked about before. Image pool role binding. We've not mentioned that before. We've talked about, and this one we've not mentioned it before. So take a closer look, and then we'll conclude all that part. And then we'll go into, what's the next thing we are going to? This is the main project. This method 3, production grade AKS with Terraform code. This is the main project for this.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a short break and then come back. How short? You can do 15 divided by 2, 7 now, and then 7 later.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back. Okay, so we're talking about deploying app from private repo. That is one thing we have done. To specific namespace. That's something else. We have not combined these two together. We have deployed app from private repo, right? We did that successfully. But we did not deploy to a specific namespace. We just deployed it to the default namespace. So you know that Kubernetes allows us to create multiple namespaces so that for each of our customers, for example, for each of our projects, we can have a different namespace. So we can have 300 different namespaces within the same Kubernetes cluster. All right, so this one now is saying that we are going to create a namespace called the DeITern app, and we are going to deploy this application from a private repo to the DeITern app. So for that reason, we need to create these two files, image pool role.yaml. To be honest, I didn't know this. It was a training that asked in class, or no, not that I didn't know. I didn't have this manifest. The training asked in class, and I said, okay, let's put what I know into practice. And then all I did was, there wasn't a simple question, but after about 5 different attempts, I was able to get ChatGPT to give me what I was looking for. So ChatGPT could build this image pool role. So there should be, first of all, this part of the project that pulls the image into the namespace, the DeITern app. The reason we didn't have this earlier on was because we are not pulling the image to a specific namespace. All right, so we'll do this, and then this is arrow back authorization. So the kind of object is role, and the namespace that it will be pulling to is the DeITern.app, which we already created here using the namespace YAML, namespace management. And then there is another one called image pool role binding. All right. So the first one creates image pool role, but this one now binds the role to the other service. All right. So this object is role binding, and it binds the role that we created up here to the namespace. Replace with the name of your service account. Use different. So name image puller. What's it connected? Image puller. So the same name here, the same name there, just like we had. There are no port numbers here. Okay, so basically this creates the role and this binds the role to the project. And then we'll have our regular deployment.yaml and then our regular service.yaml. So what project is this one? We are just the same project that we had earlier. All right, so this is basically the same one that we brought over from what we deployed earlier. And then we're actually using the load balance. So we have these two additional files. Good. So now that we have them, how do we deploy? Let us deploy. Would there be no confusion between this deployment and the other? What deployment do we currently have? Let's how do we check for deployment? Cube, ETL, get, or just get deploy. There's only one deploy called my app. Okay, there'll be no confusion. And this one is in the default namespace, not in the special name. Okay, so let's deploy a different one. Let's create a deployment YAML. So create a file called deploy. Just call it deploy3.yaml. We are going to have this inside into C, into B. Okay. Why did I not add the other one? I want to run this first one separately. In fact, I wish there was just one command to run instead of just copying. I'll just run the command directly. Right? A command, but for now, just create this file. YAML, since everything about Kubernetes is manifest. So I'll do another one. I'll create another file. And this one I'll call it namespace.yaml. I'm making this mistake. I'll be copying the name. The name should not be part of. Let's check what I copied earlier. The image pool, no, the name is not part of it. Oh, this one is not correct. Deployment should not be part of it. So I remember that. Control. So let's deploy them. So first of all, let's create the namespace. How do we create the namespace? By deploying the namespace file, YAML file, or manifest. It will be cube, CTL, apply. Actually, it's create for namespace, create minus F, namespace.yaml. Yeah, that worked. That was created. If we do cube CTL get namespace, we'll see that the item apps namespace has been created. All right, so let us run the deploy3 now to deploy everything we already saw in there specifically inside the item app name. So how do we call that file? kubectl apply minus F, then what? Deploy3.yaml. All right. Error. What's the error? YAML JSON line 2 of that file. Let's see what's there. So that's the file. What's in line 2? Apart, let's see anything in line 2. What did I copy here? Yeah. Let me. This one should not be there. Is it there? Image pool. Look at it. Why is this in line 2? Well, in addition to whatever I found, that this one is also a problem. I do not have the name of the file in it. Or then
maybe we put it in a validator and see what's broken.
Yeah, we do that, but I'll better see. Maybe I should run them separately. Look at this. It's not 929, it's 91. That one should not be there. All right. So the beginning should be. So I've identified those two. Right. Control S. And then let's do it again. Okay, so that worked this time. So let me copy this one. Yeah, the trainees may want to run them separate. So what do I do? Replace the whole code. Let's replace with what works. So next time I'll just copy and Control C, and then come back here. This one is beautiful. I'll leave it. Anyway, so we corrected that. So that's one. Now, how do we now check that? If we do kubectl get deployment, it will show us the default deployment. The item app is not here. So how do we check the specific? It will be kubectl get deployment for namespace, the item, for namespace deployment, get deployment for all the items. Okay. So kubectl yeah, we've applied that kubectl. Oh, yeah, we already have. Oh, there's a missing part. We did not create secret. The secret we had earlier on was not specifically to this namespace. So let us create the secret specifically to this namespace. So we run this one. Control C, we've not completed the command. So we run. Oh, it's working now. Okay. Before I run that, let me understand what I'm doing. Where's the command to see kubectl get or minus n, not minus ns. So kubectl get deploy for namespace. Namespace is minus n, not minus n. Okay, it's not running it. It didn't work. 0. All right. The first time we had 0/1, we knew it was about secret, right? So that must be the problem. All right. So now we know that it's not working. So let's check our secret. And then we'll find out there is no secret. So let's create secret within this namespace. So that is what we need this. Control C and then Control V. So, Control C and then Control V. All right. So now we have our secret. All right. So the secret has been created, and the name of the secret is mycred. So let's use it. Let's redeploy what we deployed earlier on. kubectl apply deploy. All right. So now is it running? kubectl get deployment for this namespace. All right, it's working. We have our name. All right. So that works. So kubectl create service account. kubectl, yeah, we can. This one is just running it 111, but we already ran everything together as a single file. And then we have seen that our app is deployed. Where's the place of this one? You sit here, create service account, my service account. I have to put a note there to say exactly why we need to do it. But for now, let's complete the whole thing by adding that. Create service account. Service account created. So let us see everything we have created. It will be kubectl get all for that namespace. And that is kubectl get everything we have created for the namespace, theITern. We created pod, we created deployment running a single pod. We created service load balancer, that is it. And then the one deployment running one pod, and this is the pod. And then we created a namespace. All right, so everything is fine. If we just wait a couple of minutes, we should be able to browse our application. All right, guys, so that's fine. All right, so that's it. This is just an overview of Terraform, just reminding us, especially for people who did not do Terraform with us. They are just jumping in on this stuff. So don't be already using Terraform. It's just that we're going to use Terraform to deploy this project. All right, so this project now is saying, are we ready for this project? Are we ready to start?
We'll have 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Can we cover it in 2 hours?
Even in less than that.
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
All right, so let's do it. Let's see a better arrangement than this. Why don't I move this something? And then add project animation. All right, so interview project infrastructure. Kubernetes is provisioning for a new project. They may want to say, my team, I was part of the team that had this project to migrate an on-prem application to AWS Cloud for our client, and the task was to study the current environment and then follow best practice to replicate the environment in cloud. The action specifically was to build, test, and deploy Terraform manifest that automated the build and provisioning of infrastructure. And then the result is that the automation saved us 3 weeks of manual. Right? The technical project. We may use this as the technical project for the above situation. All right, so what we want to do here is we want to use Terraform. All this while we have been using EKS, just copying those few lines of command. But this time, we want to use Terraform to build our EKS. It's different. We want to use Terraform to build our EKS. This is no longer enough. This is just for classroom work. For real production, this is not enough. We just copy Ctrl F. Yes, we just copy this. No. This elementary. We want to build a robust production grade environment, and then we'll now deploy our application. Okay. It's always about Terraform with Terraform infrastructure. So what we want to do now is clone this repository. Do I still have this repository there? Let's see. Let's start the project. Clone the repository. Prerequisite, we must have all of this already set up. All right, so you'll be part of training, so you already have that. So the only few additional things you have to set up, one is TerraGrunt. TerraGrunt is Terraform, but this TerraGrunt wraps around Terraform, and it simply enables the provisioning of infrastructure on multiple clouds. So we can use the same tools to provision in AWS, in Azure, and in Google Cloud, in other clouds. So it supports multiple clouds simultaneously. All right, so to install TerraGrunt, we go to this website, all right? And then we run that command. And then, okay, let's do it. So we run the command. Let's go to the documentation. Install TerraGrunt. You can always refer to that document. Let's Control C and see whether it's still there, so that in case we run into error, we know the place we can Control. All right, so this is telling us about TerraGrunt, the description, the links, and how to install. 5.4.21.20. Okay, so the latest one is 5.5. That's the latest. You want to upgrade from the previous one, and then if you want to, we're installing on 64 background, meaning and 3C, 386. Let's find that. Or source code. Right, so we copy this link. What do we have? Okay. Yeah, and the latest. Digital, same thing, then download 386. Right. So, what did we have there? Control Z. 55.2. Wow. It may not work. Let's change this one to 55.2. So this is the new link. 55. Let's copy the link directly instead of copying. So this is for Linux 386. Okay, so let me go back there and edit the node. So let's go back there. Linux 386. 386.
What one on the top?
This one?
No, down. 2 down. Yes, right there.
Let's see. If we open, if I copy the link and I compare to and I compare to this. Alright, so I'm just going to add widget and then small letter, which means download. All right, because the version has changed significantly. So let me use that Control C. Without the documentation, I would not have been able to. Okay. So I come back here, clear my screen, and start a new installation from this video. So this is TerraGrunt being installed now. It installs on top of Terraform. TerraGrunt, about same thing. One is just a tiny layer on top of the other. So, all right, so that's working fine. So I come back to the node, and then I can delete this one now. And then I run the second line. Control C. And then that. My password. Okay. And then what? My notes. Gmod, TerraGrunt. All right. So, no, I haven't done that one. Which one is the second one?
Yeah, that's right. Gmod.
So Control C, and then, all right. So what version do I have now? Is it the old one or this new one that is saying 55.2? Control C, Control V. 52.1 is still the old one. Why are you giving me the old one? No, Control C, Control C, Control. LSCP to know your current asset. Control C. Yeah. List CPU. What am I? Well, this is not the place to be. That's not the place to be. I'm not looking for current asset in my file. Okay, so please refer to the document prepared. We already have this. Let me see what I have here. Control C, Control V. This is okay, your material, DevOps, know well of your material. Okay. I did what I should do. Maybe I should restart my system. So sudo move Terragrant this into the Terragrant Linux. Yeah. Just run it to the Control C. Move that into. Cannot start Terragrant. No such. ls-l. You do. February. Something's not working right. New terminal. New terminal. .04. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so let me start all over. I come here. I say download that. Control C. And then come here. It's downloading Terragrant Linux 386. Right? So what do you have here? ls-l. Terragrant Linux 386. Okay. So now that you have downloaded that, this different. Let me take that. Control. Not the case, increase the name is this. Double click. Control C, and then we'll come to here and say move that to bin. Move that Control V to user bin Terragrant. Right? So sudo Control C. Oh, okay. Let's go to user bin Terragon. cd. Let me cd DFS. Maybe I need to delete it. Control C. cd that place. We just started the installation. cd user bin. All right. What do we have here? ls minus f. Show me Terragon. Pipe for what's that word? Pipe. What's the word for filter?
Where?
Pipe for what's that word?
Are you looking for grep? You're looking
Yeah,
for
grep. Grep for Terragon. All right, so February 14th. Okay, maybe I should remove this. Remove Terragon. The file, right? For Akin. Belongs to Akin. Read write as the read write as the so permission denied. Terragon. Remove.
you need a sudo command su.
Belongs to Akin actually. So normally I should so and it's a file. Terragon. Terragon is a file. Read write execute, read write execute, read write execute. Okay. Although I don't know why, but let's try sudo remove. Why did I write it? Yeah. There's something wrong. It's not showing. ls minus more. Oh, ls minus ltr. ls minus grep for ground. All right, so that's it. Why is it not delete? Remove. Yeah, ground. Permission to sudo remove Terragon. Okay. So grep for Terragon. Okay. So now go and move the one from where did I install that? Where did I install it? I don't know where I installed it, no problem. Let me just install a new one. I will move it from there to here. I'll just install a new one. So download the new one. And click C. And I'll not write to Terragon there. Oh, ls. Okay. Okay.
It's February 14th. You send the February 14th one.
Okay. So let me see. So we'll move that. Terragon. Looks like this is common. So if we move that to user bin, we move Terragon Linux 3.6 to user bin Terragon. Okay. I was missing something. Move it to Terragon. Yeah. Okay, so Control C, move that file into create Terragon and move it. Okay, so let's do that. So what do we have now? So this file has been moved. If we go back now and grab for Terragon, has been moved into Terragon. Okay.
Different because the other one was dash Linux 386. This is just doesn't have 386.
We created a new, we said we should move it into this file. So we'll rename it.
Yes.
Okay, so is that all we need to do? So we make it executable. So we'll add X, Control C, and then Control V. All right, so what was it before? Okay, so there's X. Before there was it. Okay, so with this one now, do we have latest version of Terragon? Let's see. Terragon minus version. Okay. Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
Is the old version?
Yeah. No, this is the new one, 52.
50, no,
The other one was
55.
oh, 55.
Well, that's what it's supposed to show, but somehow I don't have the explanation. We did everything right.
Okay,
So let's continue. Because we
we
actually deleted the other. Huh?
maybe we have to restart
Restart, yeah. Okay, so let's continue for now. At some point we'll restart. Or how do we restart Terragon? Let's see. Let's see how to restart Terragon. I don't have that one. Restart. Let's quickly go. Restart. According to Terragon, you must restart your shell after installing what the command. Ubuntu. Yeah, to manage Terragon version, you can use disable auto retry, run in the same directory. All right, guys, let's continue with this. I'll have to come back here after class and update this note as to what and what, how to complete this part to upgrade. This is the first time I'm upgrading ever since we did it. So I need to know how to restart. So this command they are giving me here now is not something I can. Restart Terragon, you can run Terragon init, Terragon plan. Yeah, but I want to restart. Okay, I'll come back there. Okay, so let's continue with this old version. All right, so let's provision our AWS infrastructure. Of course, we need our AWS CLI. We didn't know how to do that. So I'm going to use the
Dev is your
my username, right? My on my IAM account.
Yeah.
So let's just configure that exists, otherwise I create it. Yes, it exists. So there's a profile called dev, and then it's already worked. So AWS minus version shows that AWS is installed. There's something wrong here. Which version am I in? That's the later version, AWS minus version. Let's try it. Oh. AWS. Okay, it's not installed here at all. So it would be AWS. My AWS should be 2 points. Okay, why is it 1 point something? Okay, so my AWS should be 2 point something. Let me reinstall my AWS. Usually that takes some time. I'm going to reinstall AWS, and then but right now I do have a connection, because if I run a command, I'll see that it gives a reply, which means there is no error. But I don't like this version. I mean, this old version is not what I should have. So let's spend time. Let's do it together. Let's replace the old version. So I go back to my notes for installing AWS. Or do I have it here? Let me see if I have it. Install AWS. Download and install AWS. No, AWS Sierra. Okay. I'll do that. So, but my AWS CLI is working now. So what I want to do now is, let's start a project. I'll have to update my local system. Let's start a project. Did I confuse you? So what I tried to do was upgrade my Terragrant. Apparently that did not go through. I will check what I'm not doing right, upgrade it to the latest, and then I'll add a note here. Oh, this was what I did to upgrade it. And then my AWS CLI is 1.3. I want to upgrade it to 2. The latest version, whatever the latest version is. I have this note where I have the step-by-step. Okay. Let's go to the note, and then let me bring, you have this note as well, right?
Yes, we do.
This ID. So what I'm just saying, all the English I'm speaking is that I'll come here and I'll follow these steps. For Mac, this platform. So I'm going to delete my current AWS, and then I'll install the new one. This is the command. So now download and install AWS CLI for your Ubuntu sudo app. Let's do it. Control C. All these issues might even be that it's because I've not done sudo apt update. That might even solve all of them. Let's quickly do sudo apt update. It's the long idea.
Most likely.
Yeah. I don't know what follow jargons are, but let's go picture AWS. It's the Terragrant, Terragrant. So then delete. Let me remove this. Sudo apt remove AWS CLI, Control C, and then I'll do Control V. All right, so that will remove 0 upgraded, 0 new install, 0 remove, 108 new. Okay, so come back here and do Control C and then Control V. Right, so AWS version. AWS CLI. Okay, so download. Why should I remove that? This is not responding. So to download the version 2, I'll just do this. Control C, Control V. Then next. Install Z, unzip. Control C, Control V. Yeah, this normally takes a while. I was trying to have one. There's something not right here on this my system. There's something I need to upgrade. Maybe the BSL itself. Because first of all, we're seeing situations where this internet. And then after all of that, I will now do AWS instead. Okay, we already have everything. It's just AWS I'm installing here. Then I'll go back to Terragrant and find out. Okay. Install Terragrant. You get that. Then move this to here. And implement that. What about the installation command? Let's go back to install Terragrant. This is the place. Control C. Control V. Updated CLI. Related asset. CLI argument. Backgrounds. Source code. Copy link. What do I have in that link? Notepad. Control V. Digital. Yeah. All right, so while that one is loading, let me see if I can use another terminal. If I do, we get this. Do I have ls minus one? What did I
Yes,
do?
there. 55.2.
55.2, right? Yeah. Okay, so okay, so I won't download it. What do I do now? Let's unzip. Unzip will be we get that. Unzip first. Because we use it. I don't see any unzip there. Where's unzip? So this is zip, so unzip bash. What is it? Use it. You what's the Linux command for unzip? Unzip. Unzip. B 0 dot. Okay. End of central. Finish or not. Okay, that's what the
Good one.
okay, let's try the command. So what is Ubuntu command to unzip dot r dot gz. Unzip dot r dot gz.
GZ or something, and then the name dot tar.
Yeah, tar dot gz. Yeah. So how to extract unzip? Let's see here. R minus SF. Okay. Okay, so Control C, and then R minus S here. The name of this file is yes, what do we have now? ls minus n. Have we been on zip? 52 dot. Okay, so we have that. What do we do with it? Let's feed into it and see what's there. There, bounded that. ls minus n. Open there. Utility, Terraform. So let's go to. Okay, so there, we get that. Then move that. Control C. Then move that into where? So come here, and then sudo move that into this. Control C, Control V, move this one, Control X, Control then I'm not started at all. Okay, you got it. That's fine. Yeah. User bin. They're not copying to a single file. Okay, so What's happening? Oh, this one is ready. All right, let's continue with this one meanwhile. So all of that was completed. We unzipped. Now we do sudo AWS install. So Control C to install AWS. And then this is AWS. Control C. And this one sudo AWS. My user directory. cd so ls minus cd cd.aws ls minus credentials, yes. So what is the next comment? cd sudo install. Make sure this is my notice. Oh, oh. Install AWS CLI.
V2.
So apt install. Apt
Okay.
install. It says V2. AWS.
Yeah.
Did you see V2?
I'm
CLI
just,
V2. Did you see that somewhere?
I thought that was, no, why you being scared to? It's a bit too.
It will not even work because the files are not here. Okay, so there's something missing. Let me return to where I installed it. The time being, let's look at what's going here. Sudo move. What did you do here? Let's cd usr/bin. What do we have? ls minus l long list. What do we have about Terraform? ls minus l Terragon. cd Terragon. Ls minus l. So how do I install now that I have this on? So let's see. Let's see. cd.dot. Control-C.
Missing one dash on the version. Terragon. Those dash.
I'm wondering how I copy. Paragraph. Has no. Front. If we go ahead to run all of this, it will run. But I just wanted to update all of my settings. So apparently, I need to update my notes because I always want my note to be copy and paste, but this copy and paste is not working. My notes are kind of outdated. Let's see what's happening with this one. I don't want to say it's not working. Okay. So okay, so what we are going to do is let me update this note. I need to get this. They are not really compulsory for me to get right, but let my mind just be at rest. So let me get this, update the note with what I have done to provision these two, and then we'll come back and do the project.
Okay.
We'll come back and do the project. The project we'll do in the first. I mean, even if we spend a whole session doing it, it's worth it. These other ones, they are just small.
Yeah, totally understand.
Yeah. All right, guys, bear with me. Let me continue to find out what's wrong. In fact, I may have to reinstall my. All right, so we'll stop now.
Okay.
Okay, so today is Friday. Next Friday. Don't worry, we still have enough time to cover. All right, so thanks for bearing with me.
Okay.
All right, bye for now. If you have any issue, I'll be waiting on the.
Okay. Okay. All right then.
All right.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Okay. All right. See you next Friday.